So this movie, if you can even call it that, it's more like an hour-long music video. Is just a bunch of guys hanging out in Western cosplay. I can only describe it like Jackass, the way it's shot and just the way they're all just hanging out, talking about like random stuff. It kind of feels like the amount of effort put in this was like part of the joke. Like it being so low effort was supposed to be like funny kind of deal. So it definitely just feels like the entire time they made it up like as they went, and it's the whole time you're just thinking, how does Netflix approve this? Like how does Netflix even get involved with something like this? It feels like Netflix will just take any script and like even if it's written by like a dead goldfish, they'll just take it and roll with it and just hope that it sticks. So basically, you start off thinking it's like a Western musical kind of deal, but it really isn't. It's just a bunch of guys dressed up as people from the Old West, and they're at this inn in the middle of nowhere, and they're just doing nothing. They're just hanging out, playing, strumming on the guitar, playing cards and stuff. So there's not really like plot to this movie. Like nothing happens the entire time. There's no plot whatsoever. Basically, it starts like this Spanish guy shows up to the inn and he's just speaking Spanish, and this old guy is like talking about their wacky outfit of characters, and he's points to each of them. He's like, "Yeah, that's the Nelson brothers, and they've got a gunslinger, and like the Nelson brothers, it's one of them is a gunslinger, and the other one is just like a weirdo." Basically, it cuts to him, and he's wearing like steampunk goggles, and he like slurps up like a fly that's flying around, and that they're playing cards, and that's their he's dealing, and he's just smacking on the cards on the table like this and going like, yeah, yeah, that's a good cut, yeah, yeah, bah, bah, and that's pretty much it. And then there's this other character that's like a lone wolf dressed in all black, and he's like, yeah, you should be careful of him. And so the movie just keeps going. They're just talking about random gibberish and how it's like a full corn moon or something, which is, basically means it's a harvest moon. And the Nelson brothers are playing cards, and then the lone wolf and the gunslinger look like they're about to get in a fight over something. It doesn't really make sense. He just says something about throw your money down while he's playing cards. And then it zooms in on the lone wolf's eyes, and it just starts playing music, and it's just him like walking around in the snow, and he's on a train, and it shows a bunch of like nature shots, and it's just that for a while. And then it goes on to these two people, and they're just like sitting in an outhouse, and they show up just sitting side by side in this outhouse like three or four times throughout the movie, just like talking about random stuff, and they give like little nuggets of wisdom that they just keep showering down on us while they're like taking shit on in the outhouse. And there's what did they say? One guy is just like, you know what I love? Things just keep circling around. And then the other goes like like what things? And the guy is like, everything. And then the next time they're sitting down together, they say something like, love is like a or marriage is like a fart. If you gotta force it, it's probably shit or something. it's really just like raunchy humor, like Jackass style humor throughout the whole thing. And so the movie keeps going. They smoke a doobie with the Spanish guy in the bathtub, which, by the way, when the old man was explaining the characters to him, it didn't seem like he spoke like a lick of English. Like it was just like for no reason. So they smoke a doobie, then music starts playing, and they travel to this tent, and they start like jamming out, playing music together. And uh, then there's like a couple guys while they're playing music that like tie ropes around their waist, and they start like levitating in the air and flying above the tent, and just going like, "Oh yeah, I'm so happy, I'm floating, woo!" And they do that for like 2 minutes, and then this all shifts into like this concert that goes on for 30 minutes. Actually, like 30 minutes. It's just them doing a concert in front of like no one, pretty much. It's like a fake crowd of like, it looks like there's phone lights, but it's really not. It shifts into like stars. And then after that, there's a campfire scene, and they sing a campfire song. And that's actually my favorite part of the movie, because it was just like a serene, comfy country twang campfire song, and it seemed like the only genuine thing in the movie. Uh, then it just keeps going. There's the guys have a final hoorah in the outhouse. Uh, they talk about how they're getting old or something, and then they goof off. They do some mining. The One of the guys comes along, and he's like, "Hey everybody, the Silver Eagle is coming." And then everybody's like super excited about this Silver Eagle thing, and they go yeehaw, and like throw their hats up in the air, and everyone's like having a good time. And then in comes the Silver Eagle, and it's like this bus full of like women wearing white dresses, and they bring vegetables. And then there's this girl that comes out in a black dress, and all the guys are like presenting her with gifts or something, and she doesn't really like any of the gifts, and they get all pissed. And then all of the girls leave, but they leave the vegetables, and they leave in the Silver Eagle, and everybody's like upset. And then pretty much that's it. There's like this guy that goes skinny dipping, um, and then they're like walking away from this set of like teepees, and they're just like kind of having a good time, and music's playing, and that's pretty much it. That's the entire movie. So if I had to say anything good about it, it's that, I mean, there were some nice nature shots. Uh, like overall, the movie was really boring and nothing happened, but it was like kind of comforting in a way. It was like wholesome how everybody's just hanging out, you know, playing music. Um, and that was like the whole deal. Um, but other than that, it was pretty much just like a waste of time. Um, it was just like shaky camera work, nothing happened, and it was just people were just speaking like gibberish the whole time. It was just a bunch of nonsense. So yeah, that was pretty much it. It was something. So thanks for tuning in. Next time I'm gonna be writhing around in the mud and just gonna see what life forms I pick out of there. So appreciate it. Bye.